Okay, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? Perfect. 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 Okay. I think I fixed that. Okay, so we have 5 minutes to go until the start of the event. I am just going to be watching this stream here and see if I can get some more people in here. So I put a notice out on YouTube that I was switching over here just because I can't do live on YouTube today. So I'm hoping I can get some more people over here to see what is all up. And now I'm looking through. Thank you. There's some amazing people on Facebook supporting me. I'm so happy. So I'm gonna reply to him. So a little bit about why this is different. So I've been doing CAD and rendering for the past 3 years. I currently build tours off of the Unreal Engine, which is a game engine. So I know a fair bit about graphics, lighting, shaders, textures, geometry handling, all that, and what goes into making various environments using computer graphics and those technologies and such. So I'm really just here to provide my take on what I see with this whole launch. Now, I would assume this would be a launch as everyone else's. If not, this is a real big bummer. So that is where we are as of now. It is 4 minutes till launch. They are going to be launching at what looks like 12:01. Let me refresh this here and see if anything's changed. Yep, I was off a little bit. They are launching at 12 o'clock sharp. I'm assuming this is a pre-recorded event. Though it might not be, just because in the past I've always heard that pricing is released at the event. So this could be a live event. It'll be interesting to see what happens and what goes on. But like I said, I'm just waiting here for the start. I try to get a little bit early so it gets the people rolling in and get this all set up. I am a little bit new to setting up streams, so it's good to have this getting set up. But now I am just going to wait here and see if we can get this started. We have 2 minutes left. I'm going to put my audio real quick so it's going to repeat. I just want to make sure I can hear myself. Real quick so it's going to repeat. I just want to make sure I can hear myself. Real quick. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to wait and see here what I can do. We are at 1 minute. Almost 1 minute to go. Yeah. 44 seconds, 40 seconds. 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Oops. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Okay.
Welcome to my kitchen. I hope all of you are staying safe. We're going to talk about an amazing GPU today. Modern GPUs are technology marvels.
This looks like
It is the engine of large industries from design, cloud AI to scientific computing. But it is the gamers and their insatiable demand that is the driving force of the GPU. Pulling their GPUs to create the largest distributed computer ever. 1 million gamers united to counterstrike the COVID-19 coronavirus. The result was 2.8 exaflops, 5 times the processing power of the world's largest supercomputer to simulate the virus. Folding at Home was able to simulate 100 milliseconds, a tenth of a second in the life of the coronavirus, and capture the moment it opens its mouth to infect a human cell. Scientists believe this is also its moment of weakness. Thank you all for joining this historic fight. We're going to talk about computer graphics and the work we're doing to push the boundaries. We love computer graphics and have advanced it incredibly in the time of NVIDIA. As the technology advanced, the expressiveness of the medium has made graphics an invaluable tool to help us understand our world, create and explore new worlds, tell stories that inspire us. From science to industry to the arts, computer graphics has made a profound impact on the world, and for that, we are privileged to have contributed. We're going to talk about gaming and the infinite ways that gaming is expanding. GeForce PC gaming is large and thriving. Its open and rapidly advancing technology, combined with the amazing creativity of the community, makes magic. Anyone could be a broadcaster now. Add a GeForce and you have a personal broadcast station. Pros stream their practices. Experts stream tips and tricks. Friends stream to friends just to hang out. There are over 20 million streamers. Games have become a new art medium. In Minecraft, gamers can build their work of art. Machinima artists create cinematics made from game assets. Tens of millions are using games to express their creativity. Inside a computer simulation, any sport can become esport. Virtual NASCAR and F1 are already attracting top racers. Like sports, esports captures the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and the human drama of athletic competition. Esports is on its way to be the biggest sport. I have something special for all the GeForce gamers around the world. 4 gifts. I hope you like them and you'll find new ways to game. First, big news. Fortnite is turning RTX on. Now Minecraft and Fortnite, the #1 and #2 most played games in the world, have RTX on. Fortnite will get ray trace shadows, reflections, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2. These effects look fantastic with the art style of Fortnite. I can't wait to see a Fortnite concert with RTX on. The last one with Travis Scott was watched by 28 million people. Epic made a trailer for you. Let's play it now.
Let's go! Let's go!
Now they're replaying ads for the people. Okay, so I think think it's gonna be a little bit till the graphics cards actually come out. I think they're gonna go through
75%
some
of GeForce
software
gamers play
stuff
esports.
first.
Esports is a game of milliseconds. Reaction time is a combination of the gamer and the machine. Let me explain. This is Valorant. In this example, the opponent is traveling at 1500 pixels per second, and it's visible in this opening for only 180 milliseconds. A typical gamer has a reaction time of 150 milliseconds from photon to action. You can only hit this opponent if your PC adds less than 30 milliseconds. Most gamers have latencies far greater than 30 milliseconds, many up to 100 milliseconds. Today we're announcing a new esports technology called NVIDIA Reflex. NVIDIA Reflex optimizes the rendering pipeline across CPU and GPU to reduce latency by up to 50%. In September, we're releasing Reflex with our game-ready driver. Over 100 million GeForce gamers will instantly become more competitive. Valorant, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, and Destiny 2 will be the first to integrate Reflex technology. Esports pros and enthusiasts strive for zero latency. For you, we're announcing an insanely fast and beautiful display. A 360Hz G-Sync display designed for esports. This display has a built-in precision latency analyzer. Just connect your mouse. The NVIDIA 360Hz G-Sync esports displays are arriving this fall from Acer, Alienware, ASUS, and MSI. We've made a video comparing gaming on a 60Hz, 144Hz, and 360Hz display. You can see immediately how 360Hz display will help you target and track an opponent. For the 20 million live streamers, we have something really cool for you. NVIDIA Broadcast turns any room into a broadcast studio. NVIDIA Broadcast runs AI algorithms trained by deep learning on NVIDIA's DGX supercomputer, one of the most powerful in the world. Effects like audio noise removal,
Okay, so
virtual
basically the
background
four
effects,
gifts
whether
are not
graphics
for
or video,
graphics cards,
and
they're for
webcam
software
auto-framing is a virtual
applications
camera person
for
tracking you.
streaming
These
and
AI
graphics
effects are amazing.
optimization.
Available
So
for
they would
download in
not be the
September
3090,
and runs on
3080,
any RTX
3070, and
GPU.
3060. So
Brandon and GeForce Marketing
that's what I'm
will now
seeing
show
right
you
now. I don't think
NVIDIA
they're
Broadcast.
launching any of that
Hey
just
everybody,
yet.
I'm Brandon and I'm very excited today to talk to you about our NVIDIA Broadcast app. Like many of you, I've been home a lot more lately. I've been video conferencing all day and then gaming and streaming all night, and I have a very basic webcam and microphone setup. NVIDIA Broadcast makes these things supercharged with a lot of new awesome features that really bring it out using the power of AI and RTX GPUs. The first one I want to talk about is noise removal. So I've asked my girlfriend to join me with a blow dryer here, and that distracting sound makes it very hard to understand what I'm saying. But when I turn on noise removal in NVIDIA Broadcast, you find that it's completely gone, and that blow dryer is still going. But NVIDIA Broadcast isn't just awesome audio features. There's some really exciting video features as well. Let's take a look. First up, we have the ability to blur your background, which you may notice that I need because I have a very cluttered and messy room. But when I turn this background blur feature on, all of a sudden I get this really classy effect, and I can adjust the strength of that from low to high and everything in between. Or, if I want, I can actually replace the background altogether. Now I'm in a space station with the magic of AI. It's that easy. Or, if I want to jump into some gameplay, I can remove the background altogether and jump into some Valorant. And now I'm playing with a green screen effect without actually having to have one at home. I don't have to play good, but at least I can look good. Now sometimes when I'm video conferencing or doing a just chatting stream, I want to zoom in to get a more personal connection with the audience. But the problem is I bounce around so much, it's easy for my head to get out of frame. With the auto frame feature, it's like having your own personal cameraman that follows you wherever you go. So, if for example, I wanted to reach over and grab my cool Valorant hat and show it to everybody, it follows me every step of the way. I just find NVIDIA Broadcast to be really exciting, as both a streamer and as someone who works from home. The ability to remove distracting noise, improve your background, and keep yourself in the center of the frame are all awesome features in one app, and I just can't wait for you guys to try it.
A new form of art has emerged from gaming called machinima. Artists are using game assets to create cinematics. There's been tens of billions of views on YouTube. Most are shorts. Some are even recreating entire classic movies. It's becoming a whole new art genre. Today, I'm going to show you an app that will make these cinematics amazing.
This
It's
is the
called
fourth thing.
NVIDIA Omniverse Machinima. It's an app built on our Omniverse 3D workflow collaboration platform. Omniverse is a universal design tool asset exchange with a viewer based on photorealistic path tracing. The engine is designed to be physically accurate, simulating light, physics, material, and artificial intelligence. We have connectors for most third-party design tools, like 3ds Max, Maya, Photoshop, Epic Unreal, Rhino, and many more.
Wow.
The Machinima app brings in elements and assets from games and third-party collections like TurboSquid and lets you mix and compose them into a cinematic. Creators can use their webcam to drive our AI-based post estimator to animate characters. Drive face animation AI with your voice. Add high-fidelity physics like particles and fluids. Make materials physically accurate. And then when done with your composition and mixing, render film quality cinematics with your RTX GPU. NVIDIA Omniverse Machinima. Beta in October. Sign up at nvidia.com/machinima. Let me show you a demo we created in a few days. We started with assets from Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord.
So this is just going to compete with Unreal Engine 5 is what this looks like.
Guys are getting better.
For 40 years, since NVIDIA researcher Turner Whitted first published his paper on ray tracing, computer science researchers have chased this dream to create super realistic virtual worlds with real-time ray tracing. NVIDIA, seeing the ultimate limits of rasterization approaching, focused intense efforts over the past 10 years to realize real-time ray tracing on a large scale. At SIGGRAPH 2 years ago, we announced the NVIDIA RTX. Now 2 years later, it is clear we have reinvented computer graphics. NVIDIA RTX is a full-stack invention. RTX starts with a brand new GPU architecture, but it is so much more. It includes
So
new
I think
engine
this is
tech
referring to
and a bunch of
Turing,
new
so I don't think
rendering
this is anything
algorithms.
new either.
RTX is a home run. All major 3D APIs have been extended for RTX. RTX is supported by all major 3D tools. RTX tech is incorporated into all major game engines. There are hundreds of games in development and thousands of research papers of new rendering and AI algorithms enabled by RTX. The RTX GPU has 3 fundamental processors: the programmable shader that we first introduced over 15 years ago, RT Core to accelerate the ray triangle and ray bounding box intersections, an AI processing pipeline called Tensor Core. Tensor Core accelerates linear algebra that is used for deep neural network processing, the foundation of modern AI. AI is the most powerful technology force of our time. Computers that learn from data and write software that no humans can. The advances are nothing short of breathtaking. NVIDIA is doing groundbreaking work in this area. You might have seen our work in self-driving cars and robotics. Computer graphics and gaming will also be revolutionized by deep learning. Let me show you some recent works and the art of the possible. The first video is a generative adversarial network that has learned to synthesize virtual characters of any artistic genre, including photorealistic. Second is a neural network that animates a 3D face directly from voice.
You require more Vespine gas. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
The AI character can speak in any language, be any gender, and even rap and sing. Third is a character locomotion of infinite number of positions. Imagine negotiating arbitrary paths and obstacles. The fourth is reconstructing 3D from video. Imagine the possibilities. Record video, interact in 3D. This one is a deep learning model that learned the physics behavior of cloth animation. Finally, this deep learning model of ray tracing can predict colors of missing pixels, so that fewer rays need to be cast and fewer pixels need to be fully rendered. We can achieve orders of magnitude speedups. AI is certain to play a giant role in the future of computer graphics and gaming. The powerful tensor cores and RTX GPUs will let us do AI in real time. One of the first major AI computer graphics breakthroughs is DLSS. Here's the challenge. Real-time ray tracing is far more beautiful, but requires a lot more computation per pixel than rasterization. So the solution is to ray trace fewer pixels and use AI on tensor cores to up-res to super-res to a higher resolution and boost frame rate. DLSS took nearly 2 years of intensive research. We built a supercomputer to train a network. The DLSS model is trained on extremely high quality, 16K, offline rendered images of many kinds of content. Once trained, the model is downloaded into your driver. At runtime, DLSS 2.0 takes in low resolution, aliased image and motion vector of the current frame, and the high resolution previous frame to generate a high resolution current frame. I think DLSS is one of our biggest breakthroughs in the last 10 years. Take a look at these images of Death Stranding, the latest game by Kojima-san. DLSS is sharper than native 4K and created detail from AI that native rendering didn't even show, and the frame rate is higher. Reviewers have loved DLSS 2.0. They say its quality beats out native rendering and runs even faster. You can play at 4K without a performance hit. Tensor Core effectively gives RTX a 2x performance boost. Let's look at one frame trace of a game to see the processors of RTX in action. Adding ray tracing to games dramatically increases the computation workload. Using shaders to do ray traversal and object intersection reduces the frame rate. We added the RT Core, which reduces shader workload by 60%. RT Core offloads the shaders by doing the ray triangle and ray bounding box intersection calculations. Using the same methodology as Microsoft Xbox, the RT Core is effectively a 34 teraflop shader, and Turing has an equivalent of 45 teraflops while ray tracing. Even with RT Core, the amount of time consumed is significant. So RT Core and shaders have to run concurrently. Even then, 20 milliseconds is only 50, and still a step back in performance relative to previous generations.
Not bad.
This is where the Tensor Core and DLSS come in. Rendering to a lower resolution, then using AI and super fast Tensor Core to effectively double frame rate. Now you can get ray tracing, get high resolution, and high frame rate at the same time. That's the magic of the 3 processors of RTX. Turing was our first generation RTX GPU, combining ray tracing, programmable shading, and AI. The flagship Turing had a ton of
Here
processing
comes the
power.
Ampere stuff.
11
This is what we're
shader
waiting for.
teraflops, 34 RT teraflops, and 89 tensor teraflops. Let me show you our new RTX GPU. Ampere is a giant leap in performance. Ampere does 2 shader calculations per clock versus 1 on Turing. 30 shader teraflops compared to 11.
Wow.
Ampere doubles ray triangle intersection throughput. Ampere's RT Core delivers 58 RT teraflops compared to Turing's 34. And Ampere's new Tensor Core automatically identifies and removes less important DNA weights. And the new Tensor Core hardware processes the sparse network at twice the rate of Turing. 238 tensor flops compared to 89.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, NVIDIA's new Ampere GPU, our 2nd generation RTX.
Okay, here it is.
28 billion transistors built on Samsung 8N NVIDIA custom
It
processors.
was on 8
All 3
nanometer.
processors
Okay.
double rates over Turing.
Wow.
A triple double. It connects to Micron's new G6X, the fastest memories
That's
ever made.
GDR6X.
The days of just relying on transistor performance scaling is over. Yet Ampere is an incredible 2 times the performance and energy efficiency of Turing. At NVIDIA, we use every engineering lever to squeeze every drop of performance out
It's
of the
behind
system.
the vase. Look, it's
From
behind the
architecture,
spoons.
Custom process
It's hiding
design,
back there. You can
circuit
see it.
design, logic design, packaging, custom SerDes I/O, memory, power and thermal design, PCB design, software and algorithms. Thousands of engineers
Right back
per
there.
generation, billions of dollars.
It's right there.
Full stack engineering and extreme craftsmanship is the hallmark of our GPUs. Our performance,
Right there, guys.
energy
That's
efficiency,
it.
and low
hiding.
power are all
See it?
world class. And real application performance highlights Ampere's new RT Core. The more ray tracing is done, the greater the Ampere speed up. Ampere RT Core doubles ray intersection processing. Its ray tracing is processed concurrently with shading. And Ampere can render cinematic images with motion blur 8 times faster than Turing. Let's take a look at Ampere in action. At our kitchen GTC a few months ago, we showed Marbles, the world's first fully path-traced, photorealistic real-time graphics. It was running on our highest-end Turing Quadro RTX 8000. Turing was doing 720p, 25 frames per second. Today, we're going to run an enhanced version of Marbles with
60.
even more special effects.
60 FPS.
And it is running at 1440p, 30 frames per second.
Oh.
Over 4 times the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Marbles at night.
This looks like it's on the 3090. The one thing I'll say is NVIDIA is really bad at keeping the leaks down, because you can see the shroud design in the back is the right one. You can see a lot of the information on the slides came out yesterday. So that's one thing to work on, I'd say, is getting the leaks down, because that's going to be a huge security issue, especially when it's been giving AMD time to create a comeback card with RDNA 2. Clay render. Just look at all the reflections there, the ambient lighting, see all the detail, all the geometry.
Marbles is entirely path traced. No rasterization, all real time. There are hundreds of area lights, including spherical area lights. There's no pre-baking, everything is dynamic.
Nothing's baked, wow. So none of that ambience is baked
The depth
lighting.
of field is film quality and beautiful. Everything is dynamic. Diffuse GI, all dynamic. There are hundreds of rigid bodies, 80 million triangles. Materials are physically accurate. Physics simulation and volumetric rendering in real time.
Yeah, the physics is spot on. Another clay rendering.
DLSS 2.0 is doing the super resolution and AI denoising.
Wow. Just look at how complex that all is. Look at that. That is a lot to render in one scene. Wow.
Let's compare Marbles Turing and Marbles Ampere. You can see dramatic visual quality jump of Ampere. Marbles on Turing runs at 720p, 25 frames per second. Marbles on Ampere runs at 1440p, 30 frames per second. More than 4 times the performance. And Ampere even did area lights and depth of field. A giant performance leap. Today's games are giant worlds, indoor and out, with photogrammetry, dense geometry, and lots of characters. Games are over 200 gigabytes and getting bigger. This is like 50,000 songs or 400 hours of streaming
So this
video.
is where they're going to say they're
Games
increasing the
have pushed
memory.
PC I/O and file systems to the breaking point. CPUs copy files from disk and
Yep.
decompress the game image. This is fine when the storage system was slow, 50 to 100 megabytes per second. Now with Gen 4 PCI Express and solid-state drives, PCs can transfer data at 7 gigabytes per second, 100 times faster. CPU copying data to memory and decompressing game images is now the bottleneck. Decompressing data from 100 megabytes per second hard drives takes only a few CPU cores. However, decompressing from 7 gigabytes per second SSDs on PCIe Gen 4 takes over 20 CPU cores. Today, we're announcing NVIDIA RTX I/O with 3 new advances. New I/O APIs for fast loading and streaming directly from SSD to GPU memory. GPU lossless decompression. And collaboration with Microsoft on direct storage for Windows that streamlines the transfer of data from storage to GPU memory. With NVIDIA RTX I/O, vast worlds will load instantly. Picking up where you left off will be instant. This is a very big deal for next generation gaming. Let me show you Ampere in action in one of the most anticipated games of 2020, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk. This
Do it.
trailer is called Scenes of Cyberpunk RTX. It shows ray trace reflections, diffuse illumination, shadows, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2.0. Enjoy.
So this looks like it'd be on the new cards here, the Ampere cards. Wow. That is accurate. Look at that GI, that's crazy. Wow. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, our new flagship GPU, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, powered by Ampere.
Wait.
Second
The
generation
3080 is the
RTX
flagship.
architecture.
Where is the 3090? Hold on, what? They're not releasing the 3090. Wait, what? Okay, let's see if there is no 3090. $1080, $2080. Where is that PCB at? GDR6X. How much? Wow. Wow. That is impressive. Holy cow. Yes, it is. This is the 3090. Oh my lord. That's huge. Oh, so there's another fan on the back there. Wow. There's that PCB we saw earlier. Wow. That is crazy. So there is no 3090.
NVIDIA RTX 3080.
There is no 3090.
I have one right here. Let me show it to you.
Yep. It's right there. Knew it. Wow.
It is beautiful. Look at this.
To finally see one in person. That's
The
crazy.
RTX 3080. It is wonderfully crafted. It's going to look beautiful in your PC. And it
That I
lights
agree
up.
with.
Now let me tell you about some of the other exciting technologies inside. Turing used G6, the fastest memories at that time. The industry thought that was the limit. For Ampere, we had to push through that limit. Working with Micron, we designed the world's first memories with PAM4 signaling, pulse amplitude modulation, with 4 voltage levels that encode 2 bits of data each, 0001, 1011. Each voltage step is only 250 millivolts. So in the same period of time, G6X can transmit twice as much data as G6. PAM4 is extreme signaling technology, and it's just becoming used in high-speed networking.
This
The
could
Ampere
really,
thermal
really
architecture
hurt
is the
AMD
first
right
ever
here.
flow-through design,
I did not
working
expect it to be this
harmoniously
good.
with PC chassis cooling system, pulling in cool air from the outside, flowing through the GPU, and pushing hot air straight out the chassis. To allow room for a fan to flow air directly through the module, our engineers architected a super dense PCB design that is 50% smaller than previous, while adding the bigger Ampere GPUs, HDMI 2.1, PCI Express 4.0, and G6X. There are 2
The
independently
bigger
controlled
ones.
fans. The bracket front
That's
fan
interesting.
pulls cool air from the bottom and pushes the heated air out through the graphics card brackets. A backside pull-through fan passes cool air over the fins of the heat pipe and directs the hot air to the top and back of the chassis to be exhausted by the system fan. The 3080 flow-through system is 3 times quieter and keeps the GPU 20 degrees cooler than the Turing design. It can cool 90 watts more than Turing. The generational leap is ultimately the most important factor of new GPUs. A significant technology advance is needed to inspire content developers to create the next level
And
of
honestly,
content
it doesn't even look like
and for
that
the
big of a
install base
card.
to upgrade. Let's see how the 3080 stacks up to previous generation
Okay, here's the
architectures
price.
on the latest graphics-intensive games. 3080 is faster than 2080
Wait,
Ti.
what?
3080 is twice the performance of 2080 at the same price. Ampere is the biggest generational leap we've ever had.
The 3080
Ladies and gentlemen,
$700?
NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, our new flagship GPU, powered by Ampere, our second
For
generation
$700?
RTX GPU architecture. Incredible amounts
Wow.
of processing in the shader, RT ray tracing core, and tensor core for processing AI. 10 gigabytes of G6X,
10 gigabytes
twice
of
the
memory.
processing power of 2080, and at the same price, starting at $699. Available September 17th.
September 17th, 2 weeks from
One
now.
of our most popular GPUs is the 70 series. 970, 1070, 2070.
Oh my goodness, they're launching
were all
another one.
hugely popular. You're going to love the new RTX 3070.
They're launching them all.
Faster than the 2080 Ti. The Turing
Oh my
enthusiast GPU priced at $1,200.
The leaks are right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new GeForce RTX 3070. Let me show it to you. It's a work of art.
Oh, wow.
20 shader teraflops, 40 RT teraflops, and 163 teraflops tensor
So it's
core for AI
not the
processing.
custom looking
With 8
PCB we
gigabytes of
saw last
G6,
time.
RTX
8
3070
gigabytes, okay.
is faster than the $1,200
So that is
RTX
not the
2080 Ti,
GDDR6X memory. Wow.
starting at $499. Available in October. Every generation, we pack in
Wow.
our best ideas to increase performance while introducing new features that enhance image quality. Every couple of generations, the stars align, as it did with Pascal, and we get a giant generational leap. Pascal was known as the perfect 10. Pascal was a huge success and set a very high bar. It took the super family of Turing to meaningfully exceed Pascal on game performances without ray tracing. With ray tracing turned on, Pascal, using programmable shaders
Wow,
to compute
NVIDIA
ray triangle
just jumped
intersections,
$23,
fell far behind Turing's RT core.
4.4%
And Turing
in
with
the
ray
stock
tracing
market.
on reached the same performance as Pascal with ray tracing off. On a technical basis, this was a huge achievement. The images are far more beautiful, and reflection and shadow artifacts are gone. But gamers wanted more. They want every generation to be more realistic and higher frame rate at the same time. So we double down on everything. Twice the shader, twice the ray tracing, and twice the tensor
So these are
core.
all 4K
The triple
cards,
double.
it looks like.
Ampere knocks the daylights out of Pascal on ray tracing. And even with ray tracing on, crushes Pascal on frame rate. To all my Pascal gamer friends, it is safe to upgrade now. Amazing ray tracing games are coming. Activision and developer Treyarch are launching a new Call of Duty on November 13th. It's a masterpiece and it looks incredible. There are dynamic lights, ray tracing, shadows and ambient
Let me go on
occlusion,
eBay
DLSS
here and
2.0,
see
and NVIDIA
how many
Reflex
28
super high
Ti's are
latency
dropping.
technology. The last Call of Duty sold an amazing 30
This is going to
million
kill the
copies.
price of a 28 Ti.
Activision put together this trailer of never before seen footage.
If you can get
Enjoy.
one for $500 now, it's crazy. Better than one for $500.
Let me talk to you about one more thing. Several years ago, we started building the Titan, pushing the GPU. to
Here's the
absolute
3090.
limit
Okay.
create the best graphics card of
Wow.
the generation. It was built in limited quantities and only through NVIDIA. The distribution was limited.
This has
The
got to be
demand
it.
surprised us. Creatives were making 4K movies, rendering cinematics.
So they know they're making
Researchers
another
built
one now.
workstations for data science and AI. Bloggers built broadcast workstations.
Oh my gosh, there's one in there.
Simulation fans built sim rigs. There is clearly a need for a giant GPU that is
Okay.
available all over the world.
Here's the
So we
3090.
made a giant Ampere. Ladies and gentlemen, the RTX 3090.
Oh my gosh, it is real. Wow.
Come here.
Oh my gosh, it's in his oven again. That is huge. Oh my goodness. That's
3090 is
gigantic.
A beast. A ferocious GPU. A BF GPU. 36 shader teraflops.
Wow.
69 RT teraflops. 285
Oh my goodness.
tensor teraflops. And it comes with a massive 24 gigabytes
Oh
of
my
G6X.
lord.
It comes with a silencer, a 3-slot dual axle flow-through design.
So the price is
10 times
$1,000
quieter
less,
and keeps the
faster
GPU
memory.
30 degrees cooler than the Titan
Wow.
RTX design. But there's more. The 3090 is so big
8K?
that for the very first time, we can play games at 60 frames per second in 8K.
Wow.
This is insane. Because it's impossible for us to show you what it looks like on the stream, we invited some friends to check it out. Roll the clip.
2080 Ti's are going like crazy on eBay. Price is just dropping. Wow.
Woo!
I've never been more excited to do anything.
Oh!
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
No way.
This is f***ing incredible, dude.
Oh my
This
lord.
is amazing.
Oh,
The resolution on this is silly.
For the price, it's really not
You can see
bad
wear
though.
and tear
That's
on
what
the
I'm
threads.
looking at.
Look at this.
Why
That's
is it so
really good.
detailed? All right. Move fast and shoot things.
this is 8K, sir. I can see everything. Oh, I need to shoot you though.
Not a whole lot of people have seen something like this.
This is so realistic. I feel like I'm really in battle.
Monitors better be
This
catching
is
up now.
insane.
Wow.
Die, I want to look at the pretty things. There we go. Dude, the ray tracing is insane on this.
These are the sizzle reels that you see.
This is basically hacks.
And then it's like, it'll never look like that. But it does.
I'm like looking across the vistas, the grand vistas that are happening right now.
Holy sh! Look at this.
This feels like a Disneyland experience. Oh, it is so smooth. It's butter.
Oh, it's smooth as sh**, dude.
I
Wow.
can't believe it's not butter.
I mean, this is game changing. There's no other way to put it.
That's amazing. It's so smooth
My
and
mind is
realistic.
blown,
It's
dude.
crazy. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at the response.
It's been 20 years since the NVIDIA GPU introduced programmable shading.
Wow.
The GPU revolutionized modern computer graphics.
That's a big card.
Developers jumped on and invented
Yikes.
clever algorithms, like shaders that simulate realistic materials, or post-processing effects for soft shadows, ambient occlusion.
So the
and
3070 is going to be a
reflections.
lot. The 3060 is going to be a
Developers
lot.
pushed
The
the limits of
3070 probably.
rasterization beyond anyone's expectations.
Wow,
Meanwhile,
though.
NVIDIA GPU processing increased a stunning 100,000-fold. Gaming became a powerful technology driver. Gamers grew to billions, and gaming pushed into all aspects of entertainment and culture. If the last 20 years was amazing, the next 20 will seem nothing short of science fiction. Today's Ampere launch is a giant step into the future. This is our greatest generational leap ever.
That's
The
marketing,
second
but
generation
I mean,
NVIDIA
it's true
RTX,
in a way.
fusing programmable shading, ray tracing, and artificial intelligence, gives us photorealistic graphics and the highest frame rates at the same time. Once the holy grail of computer graphics, ray tracing is now the standard. And Ampere is going to bring you joy beyond gaming. NVIDIA Reflex to improve your response time. NVIDIA Broadcast turns any room into a studio. And Omniverse Machinima turns you into an animated filmmaker. We are super pleased with 3070, 3080, and 3090, the first three members of the Ampere generation. You're going to feel
Wow.
a boost like never before.
So there's 3 for sure,
I
but there's
can't
gonna
wait
be more
to go
later,
forward 20
probably.
years to see what RTX started. Homes will have holodecks. We will beam ourselves through time and space, traveling at the speed of light, sending photons, not atoms. In this future, GeForce is your holodeck, your lightspeed starship, your time machine. In this future, we will look back and realize ourselves through time and space, traveling at the speed of light, sending photons, not atoms. In this future, GeForce is your holodeck, your lightspeed starship, your time machine. In this future, we will look back and realize that it started here. Thank you for joining us today, and to all of our
Wow.
fans for celebrating the arrival of Ampere.
That was a quick launch. Is that it? Wow. 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 Wow, that was a lot. So, let's see here. Let me go. Let's just see. Okay. So everyone's already covering it, looks like. Yeah. So 4%. So when they launched it at 3090, wow, 5 minutes ago. Wow. That's crazy. AMD just keeps falling. You can see AMD's gonna take a hit from this. But wow. That was a lot. So yeah, that's a lot there. Because if you look like, let me see, Nvidia's website. So it's probably on the website now, I would think. Oh, I wonder if you can even, let's see here.
Welcome to
Titan.
my kitchen. I hope all of you are staying safe.
GeForce.
We're going to talk about an amazing GPU.
So see, there's your Titan
Modern
right there.
GPUs are technology marvels. It is the engine
And they've
of large industries
essentially,
from design, cloud AI to scientific computing.
yeah, it's not even in here.
But it is the gamers
But
and their insatiable demand that is the driving force of the GPU.
the price.
Pulling their GPUs to create the largest distributed computer
where?
ever. 1 million gamers united to counterstrike the
Can't even
COVID-19
click on this.
coronavirus. The result was 2.8 exaflop. 5 times the processing
Okay,
power of the world's largest
let's
supercomputer
see.
to simulate the virus.
Yeah, it's not even on their
Calling at
website
home was
yet.
able to simulate 100 milliseconds.
I'm shocked it's
a tenth of
not.
a second in the life of the coronavirus and captured the moment it opens its mouth.
But you can
to infect a
see
human cell.
here.
Scientists believe this is also its moment of weakness.
Look at that.
Thank you all for joining this historic fight. We're going to talk about
I mean,
computer
this
graphics and the work we're doing to push
AI.
the limits. We love computer graphics and have advanced it incredibly in the time of NVIDIA. As the
Yeah,
technology
4
advanced,
times
the expressiveness of the medium has
faster.
made graphics an
Okay,
invaluable tool to help us
24
understand the
gigabytes.
world,
We still have that.
create and
Faster
explore new worlds,
clock,
tell
faster
stories that
tensor.
inspire
Oh,
us.
full specs right here.
From science
This is what
to
I want.
industry to the arts. Computer graphics has made
Okay.
a profound impact on the world, and for that, we are privileged to have contributed. We're
Look at
gonna
that.
talk about gaming and the infinite
So this
ways
is
that
now
gaming is
8 nanometers. So they did not get it on 7
GeForce
nanometer.
PC gaming is
So they
large
have
and
to
powerful.
use
Its open
Samsung.
and rapidly advancing technology, combined with the amazing creativity of the community, makes magic.
Wow.
Anyone could be a broadcaster now. At a
I don't think they ever
GeForce,
said how many
your personal
transistors were in that
broadcast
one.
station. Pros stream their
But
practices.
wow, that is a
Experts stream
lot.
tips and tricks.
I mean, you
Friends
think you're
stream
gonna be getting
friends just to
something
hang out. There are over 20
$1,000 less
games have become a
than
new
the
hobby.
Titan.
In Minecraft, gamers can build their work of art. Machinima
Yeah.
artists create cinematics
So it's
made from
$1,000
humans.
less
Tens of
more.
millions
So
of
obviously
games
they're
are
worried about
created.
AMD because they would not drop
Inside a computer
$1,000 on their
simulation,
top
any
card
sport can become esport.
um, unless they were worried about AMD. So I think AMD might have something better than the 3080, which is what they said before, that AMD would have something better than the 3080. If that's true, this is the Titan. We thought the 3090 was going to replace 3080 Ti. So this, theoretically, what I'm really looking for now is the AMD launch, because they've released a lot here, but it's just it matters, in my opinion, what AMD has to offer, because right now it's not looking too good for them. Just, I mean, you see everything they pulled out through this launch. I mean, that was a lot of stuff they pulled out in the launch there. So yeah, that's definitely a big launch for sure. wow. I might make a follow-up video on this, going into more detail, some of this stuff, but that was definitely unexpected, what they pulled there. So I think we'll see something interesting out of AMD here, probably October, when they launch the 3070. They never said when you could pre-order the Titan, which was weird, but the 3080, September 17th, is when that pre-order should be open. And I think that's when, I would assume that's when all the benchmarks will start to come out and such. You'll actually see the real performance of it. But as of now, it looks promising, to say the least. So, wow. That was definitely a lot of information there. So yeah, I might make a follow. Like I said, I might make a follow-up video sometime, looking into some more detail, comparing this to the current 20 series and looking into what AMD may have. But when you look at like DLSS and the AI, AMD is nowhere near NVIDIA and the AI as of now. So they would have to really create something quite impressive in that field in order for them to actually make some sort of comeback and actually compete with NVIDIA. If not, NVIDIA is going to spank AMD like AMD did to Intel, and AMD is just going to get destroyed. I mean, when you're getting a card for $50, $100 more than the 57XT, that's more powerful than 2080 Ti with more memory, and DLSS and probably better ray tracing. AMD's ray tracing was good, but that was an enhanced ray tracing feature. So I've actually seen the raw performance on a regular desktop compute card. So that is what we'll need to see in order to compare those two, but I don't think it'd be this good. So really what I'm looking at is NVIDIA is absolutely going to take the cake for this one, unless AMD figures something out, which I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I hope they do. I'm really interested to see what happens. But yeah, as of now, I don't see where AMD has a path to go in graphics. The leaks were all true. We saw this coming. We knew there was going to be a 24 gigabyte 30 series card. We knew there was going to be a 10 gigabyte, which actually it shocks me. The memory increase isn't that much. So if it's 10 gigabytes and 2080 Ti was 11, I'm going to assume they would still launch. I don't think they'll launch a Ti. I think they'll launch a Super, though, with more memory. Or an Ultimate, because the 3090, it's weird how they got rid of the Titan. When they introduced the 30 as a flagship and they had the Titan, it just doesn't make, the naming scheme doesn't make sense. And normally their marketing's pretty on par, but that one I disagree with. But looking into it more, I don't see. I mean, there was not that much of a memory increase. So theoretically, if AMD did come out with a 12 gigabyte card, they could be more powerful than a 3080. Now, they're waiting, of course, to launch a 3080 Ultimate, Super, Ti, whatever. Or not, yeah, 3080. I was saying 20 series at first. So they'll probably come back, and they'll probably get that extra few FPS. But like we see now, if you look here at Amazon, and we're going to see 2080. Okay. So 2080 is around $700. Okay. So 2080 Ti. So $1,400, $1,000 renewed. $1,800 renewed. It's a Super. $1,300. So if they launched at $800 or $700, they have $700 for 3080. So you're looking at, let's say the average price is $1,300. So you know, a $600 increase there. So if AMD is able to launch a Navi 21 variant for $1,000, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, which they will need, and they will need to really push that to its limits. 80 CUs. They're going to have really good ray tracing on it. I mean, it's possible. They'll beat the 3080. They'll be more expensive. I bet they'll come in at like $999 or though. To be honest, the Radeon 7. Let me look at the Radeon 7 here. This is where I'm thinking we're gonna see a return of the Radeon 7. So let me see here. That's the Radeon Pro. I can't find a Radeon 7 anywhere. 16 gigabytes, of course. Seymour brand. There's not even... Maybe I have to do that. No? Let's see here. Okay. So... Gosh, these are actually quite expensive. Let me see here. If I can find one. These are on 7 nanometer. That's old news. Okay. So here's this. So let's see. HBM2, 16 gigabytes. This is what I think Big Navi is going to look like, but it's going to have probably about a boost clock or a peak clock of about 2000, 2100, maybe 2200 megahertz. It's not going to look like this, but it is going to have the same specifications of this card. It's going to be interesting to see what AMD does for the shroud design, though, because I will say NVIDIA certainly did very, very well with that. Let me see here. Triple fan. Why they don't put prices on any of these things. Let's go to AMD's website. And we will see. They silently launched this little buddy here. But that's nothing. That's obsolete as of today. There's a Pro. But... Okay, from $600. So I feel they're going to have a Radeon 7. Which AMD doesn't even make anymore, just F. Wow. That's crazy. So 60 compute, so I'll have 80 compute units, I'll have more compute units, more clock. Same memory. I bet it'll suck about 250 watts of power. I think it'll be HBM2. HBM2E will be the top variant. I think that could be about the price of a 2080 or a 3080 Ti. This is what they've got to work on, though. I don't even know what half of these do. So, and a lot of these like this, I know this looks like a cooling. This is just standard virtual super resolution. What even is that? So, when you see this, and you see what NVIDIA has to offer, it's a little bit daunting. Actually, see what AMD Super. So it's render what? That's so VSR AMD Visual Super Resolution allows games to render at high resolutions above the display and then rescales them. That's strange. It's from the way I'm reading it, it sounds like it's like the opposite of nope, this is AMD's competition to DLSS. This is AMD's solution to DLSS. Super sampling, anti-aliasing. Okay. So, yeah, when you don't really even know what that is, and that's the competition of DLSS, it makes you a little bit leery. But yeah, all in all, it's going to be an interesting launch. like I said, I think that AMD is going to pull out something similar to this GPU here. I mean, we'll look at the 1 terabyte second memory bandwidth. They're going to need that. They're going to need the 16 gigabytes of memory if they want to beat those 10, because like I said, there probably will be maybe not 11 gigabyte variant, but a 12 gigabyte variant, possibly a 16 gigabyte variant. For AMD's sake, they have to hope it's going to be a 12 gigabyte variant. I don't think AMD is going to come with a card that can beat the 3090. So as of now, I see NVIDIA scared of something. And with that being said, it's just what is it? And we don't know much about what AMD has planned. I would think it's going to be something amazing, but we don't know what AMD has planned as of now. So it's going to really come down to just waiting and seeing what happens. I cannot wait for that launch. I'm going to be covering that too. I'll be in October or November, I think. And that's when we're really going to see how well NVIDIA performs, because so far NVIDIA is going to be the top. NVIDIA is the top graphics company in the world right now. And unless AMD, has something to compete with them right now, they are going to be that top. But when AMD releases RDNA 2, I think that's when you're going to whatever. And another thing I'm thinking, everyone's about RDNA 2 being efficient, but the issue with that is, like, for example, I run 3D renderings and I run tours and such. I don't care how much power it eats. I don't care how much or how big of a PSU I need. I have a 750 watt gold PSU right now, and I have probably about 200, 300 watts as a buffer in my system right now. And like I said, I don't really care if I would need to get a bigger PSU to run a bigger graphics card. So I don't think most people really care about that. Now, in laptops and such and mobile chips, that is going to be extremely important. I think that's where AMD will win, is in mobile graphics. But I don't see them doing anything crazy with efficiency in desktop graphics chips. And that's just that for me, really. That's just that's the truth of the matter. It's all about brute force. It's all about how much power, memory. It's all about the specs. It's not about the power. It's not about the TDP. It's not about the efficiency. As long as it doesn't overheat, that is. Which I don't think it would. I don't think they're going to have an overheating issue. I don't think NVIDIA will have an overheating issue. I do think NVIDIA will have some thermal issues, but it'll be interesting to see, because I've never seen a card designed like that before. Like I said, it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what NVIDIA does regarding the 30 series and how those will test out. And like I said, you have to use them in actual applications. I'd be interested to see how one of those runs in Unreal Engine on that Unreal Engine 5 demo. I would be interested to see how that would run on the new NVIDIA cards, because I think that could easily hit 8K. Because I know the texture 8K and stuff, and it was really well optimized, that demo was. So I think you could put something like that on a 3080 easily. I think you could get 8K definitely on a 3090. So it's just what AMD's solution is. As of now, the 3070s above 1440p. And it's not 4K, but it's not 1440p. And then the 3080 is like ultimate 1440p or 4K, not 1440p, 4K. Dear Lord. So it'll be interesting to see if AMD can come out with a card that could do 4K 60 FPS, and then if they could push that card a little farther. My thinking is they're going to release an XT afterwards. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're coming out the 5700, because let me see. AMD 5700 launch July 7th. Okay. So $550. Okay. So let's see if I can find a video of that. Benchmarks. Price dropped. Okay, what's this?
Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming. So we have some good news regarding graphics cards, and AMD has
$450. I don't. So
and people would
apparently it was supposed to be more.
recommended
Okay,
prices
so the
from
anniversary
NVIDIA and
is the
AMD. Of course,
$450. So
once you get the
$400
cards
for
to
the
the
57XT,
retailers,
which wasn't bad. I wonder if they launched them at the same time. That's what I'm interested in. 3700 XT. It looks like they came out at the same time. 2 weeks after. 3700, 3 cards. So they did launch them all at the same time. So will they do that again? I mean, if they did in the past, I don't know. It depends. It depends if they're really trying. I think last time they were more just trying to be in the game and put something out there and get some hype. But I think this time they're going to do what NVIDIA's doing. They're going to wait and see what NVIDIA has. I think these two companies are going to battle back and forth, releasing faster variants of these cards, or cards with slightly more memory, as time continues to ultimately have the best and most justified. I shouldn't say most affordable. Most justifiable. With the price GPU on the market. So I think that's what we're gonna see here. So like I said, it's all about the launch. It's all about what AMD does. I'm extremely interested to see what happens there. I'm extremely, obviously today was nothing short of amazing. It's just going to be what AMD has to offer. That's always key. If not, NVIDIA, which, like I said, NVIDIA's prices are really good for what they're offering. Amazing for what they're offering. We were looking at 2080 Ti, $1,300 card you can now buy for $500. That's impressive. You're getting it was a little bit less than twice performance. I think it was twice performance or more, for less than half the price. And that's really, really good for the consumer. And I think that's going to give NVIDIA a huge advantage. I think the 3070 is going to sell out like crazy. Even the 3080 is going to do well. And I mean, I really think all their cards are positioned to do well in this launch, unless we have to see what AMD comes out with. Now, AMD the whole time could be doing this, and they can be doing this two different ways. First, they do have something big and amazing, and they're definitely going to be a competitor to NVIDIA. Or second of all, they've been keeping hush, and they're going to force NVIDIA into lower prices that way, and in doing so, somehow hope that they are, I don't know, cutting funds from R&D or whatnot. But the second one doesn't seem likely, but it is a possibility. But I think NVIDIA is truly scared of AMD. This launch shows they're scared of AMD. They've released too much. They've built up too much hype. I think some of these leaks, as we know, were intentional. AMD has been very silent. I haven't heard almost anything confirmed about RDNA2. We don't even know the memory configuration yet. We've known NVIDIA's memory configuration for the past 2 months, I think. We have no idea. We've seen shroud designs, PCB designs, die shots, everything from NVIDIA. We have no idea what AMD is going to pull. We've heard rumors from engineering samples, but we don't know anything about a final product. And as far as I know, they're working on drivers as we speak, or almost done with drivers. So it's really interesting what AMD is hiding, and that's what I think we got to keep a lookout for. But it's going to be an amazing launch. I can't wait. Like I said, this is cool and all, but until we see what AMD has to offer, I'm not going to put all my eggs in the NVIDIA basket and say NVIDIA's won this, because they seem scared. Why would you release this much technology? I mean, this is some amazing technology. I'm not going to discount that. Why would you release such a powerful graphics card? Why would you have such a leap and keep your pricing the same and drop your most productive and popular high-end graphics card, the Titan? Why would you drop the price $1,000? That's a lot of money. That's 2/5 of the Titan's price. Now the 3090 is now just 60% of that price. That's insane. And it has faster memory. It doesn't have more memory. It has faster memory, and it has more transistors, more, higher clock speed, all that. But it's just, why would they do that unless they're scared of something? So maybe RDNA 2 Big Navi, it's going to beat the 3080. We know this. We've been told it. We know this. Will it be like a 3080 Ti? I don't know, but it's going to come up behind it. But what I think AMD needs to do, they're certainly going to get 4K with that. Hands down. If it beats the 3080, they're going to have the 4K in the bag. But AMD needs to build a card that can compete with the 3090. And that's where I think the true big Navi will be. I think AMD's answer to the 3080 is not big Navi. I think AMD's answer to the 3080 is going to be a cut down big Navi. It might have something around 64 compute units. We're looking at 12 gigabytes of memory, which would still compete very well. 12 gigabytes. If we can get a terabyte of bandwidth on that memory or something close, I mean, that would work wonders for it. Like I said, it's gonna have to be a little bit like the Radeon 7, and then release a 16 or 24 gigabyte variant. I don't think it's gonna beat the 3090, but I think something that will be in that class to kind of bridge the gap between the 3080 and the 3090. I think AMD will come in the middle of that. And most people don't need a card as powerful as a Titan, so most people will sell for something less. But then it comes down to cost. If AMD can release a card, which I think they could probably release something a little bit less than the Radeon 7, which was $600. I think they could release a really good card for $600 that would beat the 3080. The 3080, I believe, $700, or is it $800? I forget. Let me see here. I spelled that wrong. Okay.
To a lower resolution.
So here's where they started
and using
launching
AI
now.
and super fast tensor core to effectively double frame rate. Now you can get ray tracing, get high resolution,
90.
and high frame rate at
Okay.
80 at the same price.
So
Ampere is the
yes,
biggest.
so $700. So if AMD would release
ever
something
had.
for $600,
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's pretty competitive. Maybe not completely better, but pretty competitive to it. I think AMD could really hurt NVIDIA. If they even beat it for $100 less, I think that'd be amazing. And I think that would really, really do well with consumers. So I think NVIDIA's in trouble there. And then if AMD could come out with a card that, I mean, looking at this pricing here, let's see here. Oh dear. Okay, they can come out with I think the Xbox card, the 56CU, what I think is Navi 22. I think that'll come in around big Navi price, or not in big Navi price, 57RXT price, about $400. So I think AMD's gonna release stuff about $100 less than NVIDIA. That's either going to directly compete, or be a little better than, or be slightly less performance, but $100 less. So I think they'll release something around about $1,000 that will bridge the gap between the 3080 RT and the 3090. So I see something's up. So we'll see what happens. Thank y'all for joining the stream today. Like I said, I'm gonna probably do a video on this sometime soon. But thanks for tuning in. It was amazing. The launch was amazing, and I will, have, as I get more news and such, and get more specs and stuff. Of course, I will post that. So thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye.